Good morning and welcome to Story Time with Mr. P. Okay, for our reading this week, we're going to focus on how the pictures and the setting are used in a text, and what kind of role that they actually play in the text. So, we've done a fair bit of work on the vocab and the descriptive language. This week we're going to focus on how the pictures or the visuals, as well as the setting, play a role in the storyline. Okay, so the text example that we'll be using is The Very Itchy Bear, because it's a pretty good book. So The Very Itchy Bear by Nick Bland. Bear is here and Flea is here, but Flea's a little small to see. This is Flea about to bite, but not because he's impolite. He's biting Bear to say hello. Biting high and biting low. This is Flea biting Bear under here and over there. Biting everywhere. Splash! This is Bear and this is Bee, floating out to sea. This is Bear, not quite sure if Flea is with him anymore. This is Flea reminding Bear that Flea has not gone anywhere. This is Bear flicking Flea off his fur and out to sea. This is Bear all alone and frightened now that he's on his own. This is Bird and this is Bear, and Flea is way over there. This is Flea about to see how scary hungry birds can be. This is Bear in the sea, swimming fast to rescue Flea. Flea is happy Bear can swim. This is Flea not biting him. This is Flea and this is Bear. Together, they go everywhere. Okay, so that's our example. Now, obviously, I've already done it again. Alright, so there's my title, The Very Itchy Bear. Now, this is my work on pictures, and this is my work on setting. Okay. Now, in terms of the pictures, all I want you to do is discuss the role that they played, and what value did they add to the story. Did it help create anything? Was it worthwhile? Did it help you understand it a little bit more? Anything there, like I'll give you some hints and that when we're doing our task. But it's pretty much just like what role do they play in the text. So the way that the pictures are used is by showing how frustrated Bear is and also how small Flea is. Okay, so in all the pictures there that we're showing, they had to actually point out where Flea was. Okay, so showing how small it was. So that's the role that I thought the picture played in that. And they also represent how scared Bear is when he's in the water. Okay, so when Bear starts feeling a bit lonely, it shows the double page of the ocean, a whale coming up and actually showing that, yeah, even though Bear's a big person, in his big, massive ocean, he's not so big. So that's a quick bit of what the pictures, like that's probably at a bare minimum that I'd be expecting. And that explains how I think the pictures were used and how it helped tell the story. The second part is setting. Okay, so in the book there were a few different settings. So obviously there was Bear on his rock, then on the grass, then in the ocean, and then he was back on his rock. So there were different settings throughout the story. What I want you to do is think of some questions, and once again, these will be on your documents on DB. Why did they choose those settings? Okay. Did the settings help tell the story? How did the setting impact on the story? And then, as I said, I'll have a couple other questions there as well. But just think about that. Like, why was that setting used? Like, you could even think about, well, what would happen if it was a different setting? So, for example, in there, what would happen if instead of Bear rolling down into the water, he rolled down to the woods? What would happen there? Like, how would that change the story? So, setting in a story is very important because it's able to tell the full story. So, this is what I thought. So, I think that they use the ocean to show that Bear was not really that tough. Because when he was out there, he looked scared. Okay, so I mentioned that a bit earlier. So when he was sitting there all by himself and saw the big whale and the big ocean, he looked a bit frightened. So that's why I think they chose that setting. But I think they also used it to show that Bear can be a hero because he saved Flea. Okay, and it could also be that it represented that Bear has some feelings and he didn't want to see Flea go down to the seagull. But it all depends. So you could have talked about the last setting where they were sitting there on the rock and Flea had all these little pebbles up there, so it could be the same height as Bear. Okay, so you could talk about how that impacted on the story. All I want you to do is to talk about one of the settings in there or the main setting being used. But as I said, once again, that would be expecting hopefully a bare minimum. And as I said, you'll have these question starters every day on your task to sort of think about, okay, what happened? So, in essence, this week, our goal is to understand how pictures or visuals or images are used within a text, as well as the role that setting can play in a text in determining how we sort of view or understand the story. So hopefully by the end of the week, you've done some really good work on that. And you've got a better understanding on how pictures are used and how settings are used. So good luck with that.